day, salutations, salute. Welcome to Manafest Station with Cindy Rodriguez. I am your host, Cindy Rodriguez. Let me tell you a bit about Manifestation. Manifestation is a show about leaving your past behind and living your best present into your future. As a young girl, I was always very touchy-feely. I was very inquisitive about life, from textures to places to things to people. I was always interested in getting into something or getting into someone. Everywhere I went, everywhere my parents took me around town, I was the child that talked to strangers. My mom always had to collect me from someone else's energy. I love people. I love beautiful places. I love lovely things. I am a writer, author, spoken word artist, decorator, and event planner. As a person who loves people, places, and the things that's in them, I decided to manifest a show where I can bring my spirit to the world. That's what manifestation is about, bringing your personal beauty to the world. And that's exactly what my first guest, Mr. Jason Rising, has done. Jason Rising is the creator of Tangent, a 5-series sci-fi book collection that will amaze you. Please welcome Jason Rising, who is from Toledo, Ohio, by the way. He came to Savannah to manifest his best in this city. And what a great job he's doing. Everybody again, let's welcome Mr. Jason Rising.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, how are you? It's so good to see you. I'm so happy that you're here. Have a seat.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
So how was the ride over here?
The ride over here was excellent.
It was?
Yes,
Not too busy?
No, actually traffic was really good today.
Really? That is good. I hope my couch is comfy for you.
Yes, it is.
Good. So, getting right into the book, Tangent. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of the work that you have produced. And there's so many people that is enjoying your book right now. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel excited, and it helps me to keep pushing on. It also is very humbling, because now people see that I have this gift, and I want to share it with the world. I want to share it with everybody I can.
Yes.
And they appreciate it. They appreciate the work that I put in. And they want to see more, and they want to keep seeing more. And that humbles me. But I'm also very excited to keep going on. I mean, I really appreciate all the people that have called me, other interviews that I've done. I appreciate it.
And it is so important to manifest what's on the inside coming out, and that's what this show is all about. So let's start with the beginning. How did you, or shall I say, what inspired you to become a writer?
Well, we got to go back to my childhood.
Okay.
When I was younger, books were everywhere. A lot of kids like video games, they like board games.
Yes.
I had all of that stuff. But the most joy I could ever find when I was a child was when my mother brought me new books. Always new books. And it was always new books. And Mama, I want this book. I want this series. Mama. And all she did was, here, boy, here.
That
here,
is such a
here.
great mother.
Yeah, so after a while, I started thinking, why can't I do this? But what I didn't realize was that I had always been writing my whole life. I just didn't realize it. Right down to the point when I was in junior high, I started noticing how my grades were affected according to what needed to be done. English, history, some social sciences, anything that required me to put pen to paper. That's where you can see my grades excel.
Wow.
And then as I got through high school, the same thing kept happening. But I was paying more attention to how I was responding to it. And then it became a point where people were coming to me and they were saying, yo, Jay, hey man, I'm slacking up here on my grades and you need to help me out. Okay, that's fine. It's going to cost you. So what I started doing is I started helping them write better. I started helping them learn better.
A mentor.
Yes, mentally. And it just grew from there. And after a while, it started going to this point where I wanted to write my own stories. Because when it was all said and done, writing literally saved my sanity and it saved my life.
How did writing save your sanity? That's very interesting. Elaborate on that.
It was roughly October 2004. It was Toledo, Ohio. my birth city, and I had just lost my house. I lost my job. Literally staying behind my grandmother's house in a broken minivan.
Wow.
With nothing more than a microwave, a light, and a space heater. And that's where LJ Moore was born.
Wow.
He was born in that minivan, but he matured in Savannah.
That's excellent. So that goes along the lines of how I feel when you forget the rest, and there comes a time in your life where you have to manifest your best. So when you were in that minivan, LJ Moore was born, and you started writing about him. So when did your writings when did you purpose it into a book? When did you realize that I have to publish this? Other people have to experience this guy, this young man that is inside of me.
That happened roughly about the second legal pad and about the fifth pen.
Wow.
And everything that I wrote. See, I didn't start off with a computer. I didn't start off with a laptop. It was pen and paper. And all I did was write. And I kept, but see, what I paid attention to is I paid attention to how the character was growing in me and inside of me. And I just kept watching and I kept writing more. Then I needed something. What good is success if you don't have an antagonist?
Okay.
So I produced an antagonist. Someone who's going to really challenge me and my main character.
Amen.
So I did it. And when I wrote it, I almost wrote myself into a corner. And that can happen. And it can happen very fast. And how I did that was I made my antagonist too powerful. So I had to dial it down so LJ was able to combat him.
So we kind of fast forwarded to the future. You said that you were a mentor in high school and during your adolescent years to your peers. Do you have any other works before Tangent that you created or produced?
Unfortunately, I did, but I don't like to talk about it too much because it all got wiped out on my hard drive.
Wow.
It was soul crushing, just soul crushing.
Do you plan on reproducing that story?
There are quite a few stories that I'm definitely going to reproduce.
Okay.
But now that I have the maturity and the intelligence and I have the wisdom, I'm going to make it better. And that's the whole point. Got to make it better.
And so how many books do you have in your Tangent series for those of us that don't know about your work?
Well, Tangent is the first one.
Okay.
And then next is going to be Wrath of Leviathan. And like I said before, this is going to be a 5-book series.
Okay.
All of this is basically based on a classic tale, the war between good and evil. The difference is you have LJ Moore. LJ Moore doesn't know he is the son of Raphael the Archangel.
Wow, that is something serious. Like, I'm a sci-fi freak, and I love science fiction, and I cannot imagine what you're putting together. You're such a creative mind. I'm excited about what's coming with these stories in the future. Okay, so more into inspiration. You said your mother bought you a lot of books. Did any of the books that you read in the past inspire the books that you're writing now? Or is everything an original creation from your mental atmosphere? Wow, what an amazing interview with such a great person, Mr. Jason Rising, the author of Tangent, a sci-fi thriller series. Please look him up on Amazon and get that ebook. Let me tell you a bit more about Manifestation. Manifestation is about bringing the best people and the best places straight to you. Starting with my comfy couch in the beautiful city of Savannah, Georgia, I'll go into surrounding areas and into the world and bring great indulgence of life to you. If you want to be a part of the Manifestation experience, please contact me, Cindy Rodriguez, personally at cindyjr78@gmail.com. You can also find my show on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. Going back to your childhood, you said that your mom bought you a lot of books. Yes. And so you read. And so with reading those books, did those books inspire your current product, Tangent, or did you create Tangent all on your own creativity from your mental atmosphere?
Well, kind of, sort of. And yes, my mother bought me a lot of books, and those books did inspire me. But Tangent, honestly, Tangent came from a very dark place at a very dark time in my life. And I needed to I needed to have an outlet. And knowing I can read, I can articulate, and I'm meticulous, I created Tangent. I created the entire series because I had to have a way to show what's feeling on the inside, what I'm feeling. And I needed to bring all of these things out into each one of my characters. So each one of my characters is actually a piece of me.
Okay. So is there anything from your childhood that is comparable to L.J. Moore's actions?
Yes.
In the book Tangent.
L.J. Moore is, okay, so I gotta tell you the story.
Okay.
There was a time when my mother, she bought this $900 couch. Finely woven cloth, all wool. Beautiful, I'm talking great. It was a soul sucker. You sit down in it, it was lights out. It was just over for you. So my mother, she went to work and everything. She said, Jay, don't do nothing crazy. Yes, ma'am. The first thing I do, I got bored. I read all the books that I could possibly read. I took a razor blade and I cut the side of my mother's couch open. I know, right?
Oh my God, no.
Look, I have never experienced death, but I can feel the death and just say, you know.
Did you feel the black shadow?
Yes, I felt it. So I got nervous, totally freaked out. I said, I gotta fix this. Gotta fix it now. I looked at the side of the couch. I saw what it felt like. I actually felt the fabric from the inside. I said, I can fix this.
Wow.
I went and got a sewing needle and some dental floss. It was meant to be exact. And I sewed it so perfectly that my mother did not find out I cut the couch open for 5 months.
How old were you?
Like 9.
And you knew how to sew?
Yes, my mother and grandmother taught me a lot of things. They taught me to pay attention to things, to detail.
To details.
Right, and that goes with everything that I do, right down to planting crops, sewing, writing, especially writing, because it's even more important. See, this is how it goes with writing. If you're going to create a character, what you have to do is you have to make that character as believable as possible. They have to feel as human as possible. Even if you're writing a story about, let's say, dogs and cats, you have to make the characters interact with each other almost seamlessly. If you have a protagonist and an antagonist, they have to, even when they're battling, they have to be able to engage each other seamlessly.
Wow.
Because if you don't, then the reader becomes disengaged. They don't want to deal with you anymore. And writing is just like music. You drop one bad album, that's it. All you need is one. So you got to be careful. You have to be careful all the time. And you got to make the reader want to keep reading. Therefore, you have to study. You have to research. You have to make your characters be you.
So writing is an art. And it's a creative field that you have to go inside your mental and you have to stay there as things explode. And listening to you, you've been a very explorative and detail-oriented young man. And so bringing that into the future, give us a little segment, a little part of Tangent's story of that is an example of that explorative boy that you were into your character in the book. Is there a piece of the book that you can think to talk about?
Yes, there is one piece, and this is the part where the antagonist, Lucifer, he has been caged for millennia upon millennia, and he ends up getting out almost by happenstance, but he ends up being calculated. And at that point in time, Lucifer is dealing with a group of archangels called the Holy Council. These are some of the most resilient assassins in the known universe. And they were tasked with keeping Lucifer, his 2 friends, Leviathan and Ammon, in their cells. Wow. Lucifer escapes. He makes his way out. He gives the Holy Council nothing but business.
Wow.
And what I want you to look at is, when you're talking about the protagonist, which would be L.J. Moore, because he's coming into the scene. You're talking about the antagonist, which is Lucifer. What you have to do is you cannot be afraid, and this is the thing I like to tell people. You cannot be afraid to take a dark walk down the hallways of your mind. That's the only way you're ever going to produce a work that's respectable. You cannot be afraid to throw yourself into the water. You got to be able to do it. but you also got to know how to come back from it.
Well, that's manifestation, you all. Going to a dark place in your mind and walking through it and drudging up the things that needs to be drudged up so that you can create something powerful and something unique like the book Tangent. We have to go to that place where we free ourselves from inhibition to create great products, great things in the world. And that's where you were at. You were at a dark place in your life. You were living in your van. You knew that you had a talent. You knew that you had a skill. So the foundation became you in this dark place. This man became his own light in a dark place. And he has produced a book that sci-fi lovers like myself indulge in and enjoy. I look forward to the future series. Give us a little taste about what you're doing on your future projects.
Well, as far as the Tangent series goes, the next book I'm working on is Wrath of Leviathan. And Wrath of Leviathan is just furthering the story where L.J. Moore is now more mature. He's going to join the Holy Council. But Lucifer has become more powerful. He understands that there are more people who are disengaged with the Holy Council and the Holy One than he ever expected. So what he's doing is he's using these people, these beings, in order to further his conquest. The Holy Council has to deal with what the Holy One said about them, because the Holy One literally painted their futures, literally painted them. And he said, you will fix this problem, or this will be your futures.
Wow.
So they are tasked with some serious stuff, and they got to fix it not now, right now, because the Holy One is not happy.
Wow. I'm just so excited. I appreciate you being on the show. I look forward to what you have going on in your future endeavors. I look maybe to see a movie or a playwright in the future. Yes. I know you didn't mention anything, because I know it's always hush-hush when we're into contracts and dealing with our associates or whatever. But I really, 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 really am excited about seeing what the Tangent series, what the future of that, and I'm also excited about your future books and things of that nature and your future projects. Is there anything that you want the audience to know about yourself before we go?
Yes, I would like for you to know, once you pick up this book, expect nothing but excellence from me. It is not just something I wish to do, it is my duty to produce excellence.
Amen. And there you go, manifesting your best and forgetting the rest. Jason L. Rising is an accomplished author because he came from a dark place and he manifested his best because he knew who he was, he accepted it, and he knew that he can rise out of his darkness and out of his muck and mire. Remember, manifest your best. Thank you so much for being on my show. I look forward to interviewing you, seeing you in the future, and thank you for sitting on. Now, without delay, let's get into our next guest. Our next guest is a native of the city of Savannah, Mr. Andre Lark. He is making waves in the entertainment industry with his new venture, 3D Gaming. Again, everybody, let's welcome Mr. Andre Lark to the show. 3D South Karaoke Productions. How did you come up with such a clever and savvy name for your business?
Wow. Well, I could embellish it, like, you know, one night while drinking a 40, which is not really the way it happened. You know, when you trying to break into the business world, you have to have two faces. You have to have the hood face, for lack of a better way of explaining it, and you have to have the corporate face. Because if you're trying,
the comfortable and the polished face.
We can go with that. We can go with that. You know, but you know, when I started this years ago, I wasn't thinking like that. I was thinking hood, right?
Corporate,
because
hood, color.
you can't go into the hood wearing a tie and all and be accepted. So we were in the dirty South at the time when I started. You know, we were talking about Ludacris and everything, the dirty South. So I said, let's be deep down dirty South Karaoke Productions. Now, I knew that if I was going, and you know, I hate to use him as an example, but I knew if I was going and sitting down in front of Donald Trump, I couldn't be like, hey, Mr. Trump, we're going to have Deep Down Dirty South karaoke coming. You're like, yeah, now that's going to happen.
His hair might swoop the other way.
Right, absolutely. So what I did was I shortened it to 3D, you know, Deep Down Dirty South. And so,
which is so clever.
right, and it would also give me a platform to make a really good logo and not have to cover the whole card, because my logo is a giant 3 and a D kind of married to one another. And I thought, you know, this is a good way. That way I can capture both of these markets and I can present the face needed, not being facetious in any way, but, you know, tailoring to what my crowd and my consumer wanted. And that's how 3D South Karaoke Productions was born. And it's been in existence for, and I'm going to say legally, and what I mean by that was I did my research and I got tax EIN number and I'm listed as a business 4 years ago. So it's been going 4 years.
Okay.
And it's made me on average between $22,000 and $28,000 a year just doing karaoke.
Wow. And that's what manifestation, that's why you're perfect to be on this show. Manifestation is about the transformation from one point of life to another, to living your dreams, to thinking big, and to doing big things. Right. And for you to go from DJing, from singing to DJing, to now being in the gaming industry and really making it big in Savannah, to in a way that it has never been presented here before, is like mind-blowing. It's magnificent. It's wonderful. So tell us some more about 3D gaming. What can we expect from this venture that you're in now?
Okay, the reason why 3D came about was because I saw families wanting to do these parties. Mm-hmm. You know, you have these mobile gaming trucks, but they're extremely expensive. And you know,
I've seen those.
All right, and I hate to see children not being able to experience the same things that other folks that are well off are able to experience. So it was my idea to build a mobile gaming business that the person who saves all year for their kid can do it and not have to worry about can they pay their bills later on. So it was me wanting to do more for those who can't afford to do it with something that I love. The gaming community in Savannah, unbeknownst to a lot of people, is extremely big, but it's a closed off community. I wanted to bring it to the light because gaming, once again, is about fellowship, camaraderie, clean, healthy competition, and, you know, just enjoying things that you really like. And I wanted to do that for kids. I see these gaming trucks coming out and kids and their parents playing Dance Dance Revolution on one side while the other singing karaoke, you know, listening to kids bop, you know, really having a good time and not having to worry the day after, oh my God, am I going to be able to pay my bills? That's not what gaming is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about fun.
And you are such an excellent dad. Like, I hear the heart of a father. You constantly talking about your children and inserting them in our conversation, and I just commend you for that. I think that's so great that not only are you focused and purposed on your career, but you're also including your family. And that's important in manifesting good things in life, to include your family. And so I know your children are excited about your venture. Will they be a part of it in the future? My son D'Artagnan, he's basically my right-hand man. Everything that I know how to do, he knows how to do. So if something happens and I can't be there, he can seamlessly fill in. Doing this was about making sure that there was a foundation for my kids to be well off without me here. I've always tried to be a good father. I've always tried to be an example, not only to him as a young man becoming a man, but my daughters becoming women and understand that a man does what a man is supposed to do. He doesn't take shortcuts. He doesn't make you as a woman the scapegoat for his failures. He picks himself up and moves forward. And I also try to be
for other guys out there, because I see these young guys, you know, having babies, some of them not taking care of them, some refusing to work, some struggling, some letting the interaction between them and the woman that gave birth to their child stop them from doing what they're supposed to do. And, you know, I wanted to know, no matter what anybody else says, you're supposed to do this. And at the end of the day, if the only person that sees that and understands and appreciates it is that child, then you've won the gold medal. It's not about what anybody else says. And you don't do it for the adulation. You do it because being a father, being a parent, is a labor of love that you carry on your back willingly, and you have your own self to pat yourself on the back of.
Wow, what an amazing show with such amazing guests. Starting with my first guest, Mr. Jason L. Rising, the author of the 5-book sci-fi thriller series Tangent, and ending with the creator of 3D South Gaming, Mr. Andre Lark. I wish them the very best. Manifestation is about the points that both of these men brought to the show, coming from dark places into marvelous light. Both of these men came from struggles, but they used their struggles as platforms to execute great things in their life, therefore bringing them out of their darkness into high places where they can give their true light, which is their gifts, to the world. That's what manifestation is about, forgetting the rest to manifest your best. Thank you for watching. I'm Cindy Rodriguez. Till next time on Manifestation.